Welcome to JSA TV Live, the newsroom for data center and telecom professionals. I'm Barb Mitchell, joining you today live from the floor of PTC 2023, where we're, at PTC 23. It's a fantastic conference already. Joining me is Mark Englund, founder and CEO of FiberSense. Mark, thanks for joining us. How are you finding the conference?
Well, Thursday morning, Bob. It's been 4 months since we spoke last. So far, so good. It's been
12 months. It has been,
so far.
Yeah. Different than this time last year.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, right?
I think so. A lot more attendees this year than last year. Yeah, so really happy about that.
Has it been busy for you? Or are you?
Very much so. We're continuing conversations from our launch last year, which I'll talk about a bit later in our chat.
Okay, yeah. I want to first of all congratulate you. I understand you recently were awarded with Entrepreneur of the Year. I just want to check Australia's Piercy Foundation.
Yes.
Right?
Thank you very much.
Pretty good for founding FiberSense.
Yeah, that was a great encouragement for a lot of years of moving through the startup process. So, very pleased for that encouragement. There's a lot of innovation drive in Australia and the US at the moment, and these sort of organizations really get behind guys and girls that want to go and start businesses, which I highly encourage.
Yes.
For those out there that are interested in it, it's definitely worth it.
What an amazing accomplishment and just a testament to the work that you're doing. I'm so curious about this. Speaking of the work you're doing and the impact you're making, I understand that FiberSense recorded live an earthquake in Australia. Is that right?
Yes. Actually, in New Zealand.
Oh, in New Zealand. Okay.
There was a couple that I went through, but we have a platform technology that converts optical fiber cables in cities and subsea, we talked about last year, into continuous sensors. And in the case of earthquakes, that's a big revelation that we're able to take very sparse networks today in seismometers and turn them across into a very, very dense network. So in Wellington, we were fortunate enough to catch a 5.8 magnitude earthquake live. And that was a very important precedent for us because it was alongside calibrated existing seismometers. And we were able to validate for the first time cleanly that fiber cables can act as calibrated seismometers with much, much higher density. So we can see things like earthquakes on a per building basis for the first time, by address for the first time. And that's got big implications for responding to earthquakes.
Yeah, and I can tell you as someone who lives on the west coast of North America, I'm thinking about these things often, so that's so interesting. So next, I wouldn't mind hearing a little bit about your relationship with Australia's National Broadband Network.
Yes, the National Broadband Network we announced just recently, late last year, and that's a big precedent for us in Australia that we're moving out with fibre partners to protect their critical infrastructure. So in the case of NBN, their core network, and that trial's underway at this point, and we're very confident that that's going to go through successfully. Our whole approach to this is that we deliver products into the marketplace and in the cities that works. So we go through a test process with NBN. We're getting checked off on the performance, and we expect that to go through. So that will be a big deal for carriers in Australia.
Yeah. So I'm curious, there's so much that you've already said about, the ways that you can help, whether it be something massive like detecting an earthquake or, helping in local enterprise and communities. But what would you say is the area that you're most impactful?
Focused on, yeah.
Right, yeah.
This has been the problem from the very beginning of the business. When you can convert a fiber cable into something that's capable of digitizing all objects and events, there's almost like an unlimited set of applications that you can dream up. But for companies like us, it's so important that we focus. And we've been focusing on critical infrastructure from the very beginning. And we started in subsea that we announced last year, protecting submarine cables. And there was an innovation there that we were able to insert ourselves into live traffic. But in the terrestrial sense, we're very much focused on protecting critical linear infrastructure. That's things like telecom cables, water pipes, power cables, that sort of thing, from things like excavators and network technicians doing stuff that they're supposed to be doing, that type of thing. So we're really focused on that. We have a smart city frame we talked about last year as well. That's accelerated dramatically. So we'll have first vehicle tracking live on a per vehicle basis through fiber cables, which is a very different way of tracking objects and events in cities. We also have a water leak detection capability and a seismic capability, but they come after the critical infrastructure focus that the business is leading with. So they're pilots in a sense, but the main business is infrastructure protection. They're qualified products that are going out at scale.
So you talked about focus. So when I've been saying, today it's always interesting. I find being at PTC because it's January, it's time for sort of like reset and recalibrate and sort of think of the year ahead. What are you most focused on when you think of it from that perspective? Because it's a lot. What you're talking about is a lot. What do you think you can focus on for the next 6 months, say, or 12?
So 2022 was a big year of expansion for us.
Yeah.
We're now in 15 cities, 8 countries. Very, very big footprint in our fleet. We also added 2 new high-caliber non-executive directors to the board. So we have Chris Sharp from Digital Realty joined us last year, and we also have Mark Sokol, ex-Google executive in the infrastructure side. Both of them icons of the industry. Mark's now with Atlas Edge as their CTO, but both of them render on our board new dimensions of, let's say, advisory board capability or depth in our board. So that's been a big add as we manage scale out now. So as we're focused on asset protection, our 23 is really about significantly increasing our footprint, 5x what it is today. And that requires a discipline and a focus on what it takes to scale and grow. So.
Right. Well, you have your work cut out for you, don't you? Yeah. It's always great to catch up with you. Is there anything else that you want to make sure our viewers sort of know that you're really thinking about?
No, I think that's it. We're always looking for fiber partners. We've got a lot of great fiber partners today. NBN is a candidate for that, as we saw that. In the US and Europe, what we render to these fiber partners is the ability to generate a new unregulated revenue source from those applications we just discussed. So we're always looking for that. So if there's any interest in carriers out there for looking at a new model within their business, that's us.
Right. Okay. Well, good. So for those people, I keep saying not everyone's as lucky as we are to have made the long journey to Waikiki. For those that aren't here, that you aren't able to meet with on site, how can they connect with you?
Our website. It's FiberSense.com.
Okay.
It's all there. Our business development sales team are always eager to chat.
Yeah, I bet. So FiberSense.com. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure to catch up. Hopefully we don't have to wait a whole nother year.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Bob.
To chat again.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah. So thank you. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in to JSA TV. Mahalo.